let me just cut to the chase here. Are you a dopey, goofy, nothing happening guy like myself out there? Well, let me just tell you something. There's one way you can change it in the blink of the eye, and you're not going to believe this, but as soon as I snap my fingers, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You can go from this to the coolest man in the world just like that. What did I tell you? Ho, ho, ho! Happened to be doing laundry today. Ho, 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 ho. This is the best costume. It really is. Actually, Melody is actually threatening to pimp me out as Santa Claus to a bunch of kids out here. So, man, high quality is the best Santa outfit I've got. Even has boot covers, which you can't see here, but you got the belt, the shoulder things, the gloves that fit my huge hands. It's a good little outfit if I could keep my beard on. I don't know, put it on too low. Anyway, the glasses, veil. Does it get any better than this right here? I don't think so. Okay, just being a little bit silly there with that. But you can, in fact, get yourself this very Santa Claus outfit, and I absolutely love it. I just thought it was great, so that's why I wanted to share it with you. Plus, you're a sponsor of this video, so hey, by golly, two for two. But I'll put in some details in the comment in case you want to check it out for yourself and be the best Santa Claus you can be this year. Speaking of Christmas, I absolutely love this holiday. I just live for it. It has been, I don't know, a lifelong thrill for me to see the lights. I can't wait to put the tree up. I'm literally one of those people that just wants to skip through Thanksgiving. As soon as Halloween's over, the next day I'm ready to put the tree up, decorate, turn the music up. I can't get enough of it. And then when it's all over with, it's kind of sad, like a party ending. But hey, right now the party is just getting started, so love, love, love it. And I hope you guys do too. Reminds me back, I think I've told you guys before, or a lot of you, if you've been around and followed our social media for a while, you probably picked up at some point that I was in banking for a pretty good while. I guess all told, in some sort of lending capacity for about 20 years. So I started off as a teller and CSR, and moved on up to loan clerk, and then ended up being a loan officer, which is a funny story in itself. I'm getting somewhere with this, by the way, but it was more of a battlefield promotion. You know, I was a loan clerk, in which basically I just assembled loan documents. That's all I did. The loan officer would give it to me. I'd put stuff together in a nice little package and send it on down the road. Well, I got what they call a battlefield promotion one day. Our loan officer took another job and kind of caught him flat-footed. They didn't expect it because he'd been there for years and years and years. So they were kind of left in with a vacuum there. Well, the number of customers that came in was so overwhelming that thought, well, what we'll do, we'll just prop old Shane in there. He can file his little, he can assemble his little files in there, and he can just talk to these people and kind of stall them up till we can get him to see another loan officer. Well, it started that way. I did that for a while. Then they started thinking, well, maybe he could be some help, pull the credit reports for us, get them to fill the loan apps out, and just kind of talk to them, and then we'll keep on moving. Well, long story short, I kept progressing. I kept, I got more. Some of it was myself. I just assumed authority. But I ended up taking loan apps, the credit reports. Then I started making the decisions. I was like, well, let's probably approve this. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And nobody stopped me, so I just kept on doing it. And anyway, it led to a host of calamities. I mean, it is outrageous. The only reason I'm willing to even talk about it now is the statute of limitations has ran out. And a couple of people have passed away that have been involved in these stories. But anyway, one of them that has to do with Christmas was, it had these little old lady that came in. She came in like clockwork every 2-3 months. And it was back in the day we could just make these little old small loans, kind of like a finance company would. I made one for less than $100 for a guy who wanted to buy some eyeglasses, and so I did it for him. But anyway, this lady would come in every 2 or 3 months. She'd be running short, and she'd need to add about $300 to her loan, and it just kept on going in perpetuity. And I don't know what got into me. Maybe it was one of my bosses. I can't recall necessarily, but at some point I thought, you know what, this has got to stop. She's getting nowhere. She's never going to pay this thing off. And so I cut her off. She came in for her normal $200 or $300, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just can't do this time. We're going to have to let you pay some more down on this loan before we can do anything else. And as you can imagine, that went over about as well as a crocheted bathtub would. It was not a good situation. And so she left. I didn't see her for a while, and frankly, kind of sort of forgot about the whole situation because I literally did 100 and some loans a month back then. It was just like people. We were talking the other day, my new workplace now, about how people would call me before I woke up. They'd call me at home at night. I mean, it was just like ridiculous how much action I got off of that. Not because it was me, because people were desperate for money and they saw me as the source. But you know, in my mind's eye, I saw myself as being important. And anyway, Christmas was coming around one year, and I got the mail would come in, and it was like, Shane, you got one. And I could tell, well, my kitty cat's trying to join me. And I could tell that from the handwriting, it was like, oh, okay, this is in the package, and the kind of colorful card, that this was a Christmas card. And so, okay, I open it up, and I'm like, oh, this is good, because and I made friends, and some people liked me a lot, so I thought that was not unnormal for me to get quite a bit of Christmas cards. So this one I opened up, and I was like, oh, I wonder who this is from. And I was reading it, and it was really sweet. It was like, enjoy to the world. And I flipped over the card, and it started off, Dear Shane, I hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas season, and hope you are blessed and have everything that you want and need out of life, and may God bless you. And may God bless us, even though you didn't give me that loan I needed, and that we're not going to have a good Christmas this year. And so she just turned around and just put all this blame dumping on me. And I was like, oh my gosh, what in this world is going on with this? And so it just went on. It was like 3 or 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph was nice, and the last 3 was ripping me a new one for not doing that little loan she had wanted before. And so she steamrolled me. But there is a happy ending to this story because, yeah, we got through it eventually. We had a powwow and came back, and I started getting her back into her little system again because she always paid. And I think whatever happened, I wised up and realized, some people, that was just their social event for them. So she came in, and she never got that loan. Probably never got over $1,000. It just kept on. She'd pay it down 2 or 3 payments, add more to it, 2 or 3, and it just stayed and kept on for probably the rest of her life. But yeah, that was one Christmas. I've still got that card somewhere because every now and then, if I feel cocky or whatever, I like to pull it out to get humbled and think, you know what, I made a few enemies along the way. And speaking of which, I need to write a book about it, honest to God. I had so many crazy stuff happen just in that one location, which that's all of them. But I had, and this is horrible, but I had a guy, and he was, let me just preface this by saying he was 100% right. I was 100% wrong. And I'm not by no means making fun of him, but he had a tracheotomy. So he had one of those little devices that look like a razor, that goes up there that help him talk. And I had screwed up his lawn, and he came in, and I just love the guy. He was a football hero in college and all kinds of stuff. He was just a wonderful person. And so he came in, I was just happy to see him, and he was like, Shane, what in the world were you thinking? He's like, I was so shocked. And you talk about a slow motion train wreck. It took him like 10 minutes to bawl me out. And I deserved every bit of it. I had to fall on the grenade. I deserved every bit of it. He was right, I was wrong. And I'm not saying it's necessarily funny, but can you imagine, well, it is kind of funny now, how awkward that was to just sit there and have to sit and take that and for knowing where it was going, but how slow every single word was. It was like, a dumb thing, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's just ripping me a new one. But fortunately, another situation where we made peace and all ended up well in the world. But and that's just one. That's just 2 of 10,000 stories I've got that are just bizarre. It's like I can't believe it's like I've lived 10 lives in my life. But anyway, hope you guys are getting ready for Christmas and Thanksgiving. If you love it more than Christmas, God bless you. I just don't know, it doesn't do as much for me. But anyway, hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving coming up this next week.